Hi everyone, it's me again, Titser Jay. Welcome to another episode of learning. Today's video, we are going to discuss solving quadratic equation that are not written in standard form. So, magsasolve tayo ng quadratic equation na hindi siya nakasulat in standard form of a quadratic equation. So, kung maalala natin, yung standard form ng quadratic equation ay ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So, gagawin natin ganito. So, let's have the first example. Solve x times the quantity x minus 5 is equal to 36. So, ang gagawin natin dito is to write this or transform this equation into standard form or into quadratic. Right? So, let's rewrite the equation. X times x minus 5 is equal to 36. So, ang gagawin natin yan is to distribute this x to x minus 5. So, x times x, that is x squared. Next, x times negative 5, that is negative 5x, is equal to 36. Okay? And this equation is not written in standard form of a quadratic equation. Hindi siya nakasulat sa form na form na ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So we need to use subtraction property of equality or simply transpose this 36 to left side. Okay? So x squared minus 5x minus 36 is equal to 0. So we have now the new equation, x squared minus 5x minus 36 is equal to 0. So dun sa problem, isosolve natin. So we are going to solve this equation using any methods in solving quadratic equation. Pwedeng factoring, pwedeng completing the square, pwedeng quadratic formula. But this equation is factorable. So, ang gagamitin natin is factoring method. So, kunin natin yung factors ng x squared minus 5x minus 36. So, ang factors niyan ay x minus 9 and x plus 4 is equal to 0. So, yung factors ng x squared minus 5x minus 36 ay x minus 9 and x plus 4. And then, applying zero product property, so x minus 9 is equal to 0. Isa naman, x plus 4 is equal to 0. To solve for x here, using addition property of equality, or pwede natin i-transpose yung negative 9 to right side. So, it becomes positive 9. So, yung first value of x natin is 9. And, ito naman, x plus 4 is equal to 0. Simply transpose positive 4 to right side or by using subtraction property of equality. So, yung second value of x is negative 4. So, the solutions or the roots of this equation, x times x minus 5 is equal to 36 are 9 and negative 4. Kung gusto nyong i-check kung tama yung 9 or negative 4, you are going to substitute from the original equation. Okay? Okay, let's have example number 2. Solve square of x plus 5 plus square of x minus 2 is equal to 37. So, pag sinabing solve, we are going to look for the values or we are going to find the values of x. So, rewrite natin yung equation. X or square of x plus 5 plus square of x minus 2 is equal to 37. So, ang gagawin muna natin is to expand this or we are going to simplify this square of binomial. So, kapag sinimplify natin yan, square the first term, that is x squared, and then twice the product of first and second term, that is equal to 10x. And then square the second term, that is 25. So, x squared plus 10x plus 25 plus, ito naman, square ng x minus 2. So, square the first term. Square ng x ay x squared. And then twice the product of first and second. So, 2 times x times negative 2. That is negative 4x. And then square the second term. That is positive 4. Square ng negative 2 ay positive 4. Is equal to 37. Okay? So, baka naguluhan. Square ng dito, square ng x plus 5 ay nagiging x squared plus 10x plus 25. And then, square ng x minus 2, nagiging x squared minus 4x plus 4. And then, it is equal to 37. So, ang gagawin natin is combining like terms. So, yung x squared at saka x squared dito. So, x squared plus x squared, that is 2x squared. Then, ito naman, 10x at saka negative 4x. So, 10x minus 4x, that is positive 6x. Ito naman, 25 plus 4, that is equal to 29, is equal to 37. So, aayusin pa rin natin, or we are going to use subtraction property of equality, or simply transpose positive 37 to left side. So, ililipat natin yan, magiging 2x squared plus 6x plus 29 minus 37 is equal to 0. So, ang gagawin ulit natin, simplify natin ito, 29 minus 37. So, kopyahin ulit natin, 2x squared plus 6x. So, 29 minus 37, that is negative 8, is equal to 0. Okay? So, next na gagawin natin, since ito ay nasa quadratic equation na siya. Okay? So, 2x squared plus 6x minus 8 is equal to 0. Pero, pwede pa nating isimplify yung ating quadratic equation. So, pwedeng i-divide. Yung 2 kasi dito, divisible dun sa 6 at saka negative 8. So, pwede tayong mag-divide both sides of the equation by 2. Okay? Para mapalit yung ating equation. So, 2x squared divided by 2, ang sagot ay 2x squared, ay x squared. And then, 6x divided by 2. So, 6 divided by 2 ay 3. So, that is 3. And then, kopyahin natin yung variable x. And then, negative 8 divided by 2, that is negative 4. Is equal to 0 divided by 2, that is 0. So, we have the new equation, x squared plus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. So, ang gagawin natin is, i-factor natin or isolve natin yung ating equation or quadratic equation. So, pwede yung gamitan siya ng factoring, completing the square, or quadratic formula. Since this equation or this quadratic equation is factorable, so we are going to use factoring method. So, ang factors niyan ay x plus 4, and x minus 1 is equal to 0. So, again, ang ginamit ko dito ay factoring. So, the factors are x plus 4 and x minus 1. So, next na gagawin natin is using zero product property. So, that is x plus 4 is equal to 0. Isa naman, x minus 1 is equal to 0. So, solve natin yung first value of x. So, that is, or lipat lang natin yung positive 4 to right side, or by using subtraction property of equality. So, that is x, or first value of x, that is negative 4. Isa naman, pag nilipat natin sa kabila, or simply transpose negative 1 to right side, or by using addition property of equality, x sub 2 is equal to positive 1. So, yung roots natin, or the solutions, or roots of this equation, square of x plus 5, plus square of x minus 2 is equal to 37, ay negative 4, and, or positive 1. So, kung gustong i-check kung tama yung negative 4 and positive 1, substitute nyo lang po itong values po ng x dun sa ating original equation. Okay, let's have example number 3. Square of 2r plus 3 plus square of r plus 4 is equal to 10. So, ang ginamit naman na variable dito ay yung r. Okay? So, rewrite muna natin yung equation. Square of 2r plus 3 plus square of r plus 4 is equal to 10. So, parang the same lang din itong example natin dun sa number 2. So, ang gagawin natin, simplify natin yung square of a binomial. So, magiging square ng first term, that is 4r squared. And then twice the product of the first and second term, that is 12r. So, 2 times 2r times 3, that is 12r. And then square ng 3, that is positive 9. Plus, ito naman, square ng r, that is r squared. Then twice the product of r and 4. So, 2 times r times 4, that is 8r. Right? And then square ng 4, that is 16, is equal to 10. Right? Next na gagawin natin, combining like terms. Itong 4r saka r squared. Ito ay 5r squared. Next, yung 12r plus 8r, that is 20r. Okay? And then 9 plus 16, that is 25 or plus 25 is equal to 10. Next na gagawin natin is to use subtraction property of equality. Okay? Or ilipat natin yung positive 10 to left side. Right? So, magiging 5r squared plus 20r plus 25 minus 10 is equal to 0. So, next, simplify natin ito. So, it becomes 5r squared minus 20r. 25 minus 10, that is positive 15, is equal to 0. Next na gagawin natin, so meron na tayong bagong equation, 5r squared plus 20r plus 15 is equal to 0. Pero itong equation na ito can be simplified. Kasi yung 5 ay divisible dun sa 20 at saka 15. So, pwede tayong mag-divide both sides of the equation by 5. Okay? So, 5r squared divided by 5, that is r squared. Next, 20r divided by 5. So, that is 20 divided by 5. That is 4. And then, kopyahin natin yung variable na r. And then, 15 divided by 5 or positive 15 divided by 5. That is 3. Is equal to 0 divided by 5. That is equal to 0. So, we have the new equation. So, ito yung bagong equation natin. R squared plus 4r plus 3 is equal to 0. So, ang gagawin natin, isosolve natin itong equation na ito using any methods in solving quadratic equation. So, the most appropriate method to solve this equation is yung factoring method. So, ang factors niyan are r plus 3 and then r plus 1 is equal to 0. So, again, ang factors ng r squared plus 4r plus 3 ay r plus 3 and r plus 1. So, next na gagawin natin dyan is by using zero product property. So, that is r plus 3 is equal to 0. Then, isa naman, r plus 1 is equal to 0. So, solve natin yung r. Or solve the resulting linear equation. R sub 1 or first value ng r is equal to negative 3. Okay, nilipat or simply transpose positive 3 to right side. So, it becomes negative. Yung isa naman, r sub 2 or second value of r, that is That is, ano ba? Lipat lang natin yung positive 1 to right side, it becomes negative 1. So, first value of x is negative 3, and second value of r that is first value of r that is negative 3, and second value of r that is negative 1. So, the solutions or the roots of this equation ay negative 3 or negative 1. Okay, let's have example number 4. Solve square of x plus 2 all over 5 plus square of x minus 2 all over 3 is equal to 16 over 3. So, para ma-solve natin yung equation na ito, we need to transform this one into quadratic equation. So, paano i-transform yan? So, let's rewrite first the equation. We have square of x plus 2 all over 5 plus square of x minus 2 all over 3 is equal to 16 over 3. So, para ma-solve natin yung equation, we need to get the LCD of this. So, ano LCD ng ating equation? Okay, so ang LCD natin dyan, LCD is equal to 15. O, ang LCD natin ay 15. So, yung 15 na yan, ang gagawin natin is to multiply natin yan both sides of the equation. Ayan. So, next na gagawin natin is 15 times square of x plus 2 all over 5. So, ang gagawin natin dito is step by step. So, this is 15 times square of x plus 2 all over 5. Ito yan. 15 times the square of x plus 2 all over 5 plus, so plus yung gagawin natin dyan, and then 15 times the square of x minus 2 all over 3. So that is 15 times x minus 2 squared all over 3, right, is equal to, ito naman, 15 times 16 over 3, that is 15 times 16 all over 3. Ayan po. So, next na gagawin natin is magsisimplify tayo. Etong 15 at saka 5, pwede na nating i-divide. So, that is 15 divided by 5, that is 3. So, times, kopyahin natin yung square of x plus 2. And then, next, ang gagawin natin is plus, ito naman, 15 divided by 3, that is 5, times yung x minus 2 squared is equal to, simplify din natin ito, simply divide this one, 15 and 3, so that is 5, right? 5 times 16. Next, simplify natin, square or 3 times the square of x plus 2. Ang gagawin muna natin dito ay i-expand natin ito. So, kopyahin muna natin yung 3. 3 times square of x plus 2, that is x squared, plus 4x. Tama? Square ng x, that is x squared. And then twice the product of x and 2, that is 4x. And then square the second term or square ng 2, that is positive 4. And then plus, kopyahin natin yung 5. And then simplify natin yung square of x minus 2. So that is times x squared. So same procedure lang yung ginawa natin dito sa una. So this is x squared or square of x, that is x squared. And then twice the product of x and negative 2, that is negative 4x. And then square ng negative 2, that is positive 4, is equal to 5 times 16, that is 80. Next is simplify natin or distribute natin yung 3 dito. So 3 times x squared, that is 3x squared, right? And then 3 times 4x, that is positive 12x. And then 3 times 4, ito naman, that is 12. Plus 5 times x squared, that is 5x squared. Ito naman, 5 times negative 4, that is negative 20x. And then 5 times 4, or positive 4, that is positive 20. All is equal to 80. Next is combining like terms. So, magko-combine tayo. Itong 3x squared, tsaka 5x squared. So, 3x squared plus 5x squared, ang sagot dyan ay 8x squared. Right? And then, ito naman, 12x saka negative 20x. So, 12x minus 20x, that is negative. Sorry po. This is negative 8x. And then, 12 plus 20, ito naman, that is positive 32. Right? Is equal to 80. So, ang gagawin ulit natin, ilipat natin yung 80 or gagawin nating standard form. We need to transpose this positive 80 to left side or by using subtraction property of equality. So, magiging ganito po. 8x squared minus 8x plus 32 minus 80 is equal to 0. So, next is, simplify natin yan, yung 32 minus 80. So, kopyahin muna natin yung 8x squared minus 8x. So, 32 minus 80, that is 48 or negative 48. Okay, is equal to 0. So, next is, we have now the equation 8x squared minus 8x minus 48 is equal to 0. So, quadratic equation na siya. Pero, itong quadratic equation na ito ay can be simplified. Pwede pang mapalit yung mga numbers. Kasi yung 8 ay divisible so dun sa 8 dito at saka yung 48. So, pwede nating i-divide both sides of the equation by 8. Right? So, 8x squared divided by 8 or simply cancel yung 8. So, that is x squared na lang. Right? Next is negative 8x divided by 8, that is negative x or negative 1x. So, next is negative 48 divided by 8, that is negative 6. Right? Is equal to 0 divided by 8, that is equal to 0. So, we have now the new equation, x squared or quadratic equation, x squared minus x minus 6 is equal to 0. So, isosolve na natin yung ating quadratic equation using any methods in solving quadratic equation. So, since this equation is factorable, so ang gagamitin natin is factoring. So, ang factors niyan ay x minus 3 and x plus 2 is equal to 0. Right? So, using zero product property, x minus 3 is equal to 0. Isa naman, x plus 2 is equal to 0. So, next is, we are going to solve for x here. Itong x minus 3 is equal to 0 by using addition property of equality or simply transpose negative 3 to right side. So, it becomes positive. So, yung first value of x natin or x sub 1, that is positive 3. And then x sub 2, or simply transpose positive 2 to right side. So, it becomes negative. So, second value of x or x sub 2 is equal to negative 2. So, the solutions of this equation ay positive 3 at negative 2. So, if you have questions or clarifications, just type your question po in our comment section. Keep safe and God bless.